We spend so much time and energy designing our careers, our homes, even our workouts. But how often do we stop and think about designing our family life? Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful way to do just that by creating something called a family vision. And that brings us to this huge question. Is your family running by design, or is it just kind of happening by default? For so many of us, it's the second one. We're just on autopilot. We carry around these unstated expectations from how we grew up, and that can cause all sorts of confusion and conflict because everyone's working from a different, totally unspoken blueprint. The goal here is to switch from that default mode to a deliberate design. So here's our game plan. We're going to start by unpacking this idea of the unspoken blueprint. Then we'll walk through 12 key questions that'll help you build your own vision. We'll even see what it looks like in action with some real-life examples, see how our past shapes our future, and wrap up with how you can consciously choose your family's core values. All right, let's get into it. This whole section is about making a conscious choice, about actively creating a plan for your family instead of just letting life happen to you. So what exactly is a family vision? Well, it's not some vague, fuzzy idea. It's a real, proactive plan. This whole framework comes from a retired clinical psychologist named Lasater, and it's basically the tool that lets us start building our family life with true intention. Okay, now for the super practical part. To actually build this vision, Lasater gives us a blueprint made up of 12 questions. These cover all the big, foundational parts of life that you and your partner really need to be on the same page about. Let's go through them. First up, location. And this might sound simple, but it has huge ripple effects, right? Where you live decides your community, it shapes your entire lifestyle, and it dictates how close you are to your extended family. It's a real cornerstone of your shared life. Next up, work. It's not just about what you do for a living, but how your careers fit together. You want your jobs to support the life you're trying to build, not become a constant battle over who's got more time or energy. This one is obviously one of the biggest decisions of all. Getting aligned on if you want to have kids, when you might want to have them, and how big you want your family to be, that's absolutely fundamental. And if kids are in the plan, the very next question is, how are you going to raise them? This goes way deeper than just discipline. It's about your hopes for their education and, most importantly, your shared vision for creating a loving, stable home. Now we're getting to the ethical foundation of your family. What are those core principles like honesty or compassion or hard work that are going to guide all your decisions? Because here's the thing, whether you talk about them or not, you're passing these values on. What role is spirituality or religion going to play in your family, if any? This is all about defining the moral and spiritual compass for your home. And what about your public life? Understanding each other's political values and how involved you want to be helps you build a more cohesive worldview as a family unit. Money. It's a huge part of life. So what's your shared financial plan? Are you saving for retirement, a house, college funds? Getting on the same page here is absolutely crucial to avoid what is probably the biggest source of stress in any relationship. Okay, life can't be all serious business. What do you want to do for fun, together and on your own? That shared joy, that leisure time, honestly, it's the glue that holds a family together. This is all about your approach to diet, exercise, and just general wellness. A shared commitment to a healthy lifestyle really impacts your family's energy levels and, of course, your longevity. Next, the extended family. Parents, siblings, in-laws. This can be a minefield for some. What does a healthy connection look like to you? Being proactive about boundaries and expectations here can save you from an incredible amount of drama down the road. And finally, how does your family fit into the bigger picture? Do you want to volunteer, be active in your neighborhood? This question helps define your family's contribution to the world around you. So those are the 12 big questions. But what does a vision that's built from these questions actually look like in practice? Let's check out a real-world example from the guy who created this framework, Lasater. What's so powerful about this is just how personal and direct it is. Lasater's vision wasn't just some abstract goal. It was a direct, conscious reaction to his own childhood. He specifically set out to build something different from what he had experienced, and that perfectly shows how our own history can shape the future we choose to design. And that idea is so important, we're going to explore it a bit more. You really have to understand where you come from if you want to choose where you're going. Let's look at another story that makes this crystal clear. So, take a look at this. This is a story of a man named Alec. On the left, you see his childhood reality. Yeah, there was financial success, but it came with an unhappy marriage and a father who was emotionally distant and drank too much. Now look at the right. That was his goal, his family vision, to give his own kids a completely different, more emotionally present experience. So later, when his own daughter developed a drinking problem, that vision kept him from feeling like a failure. Instead, it guided him to support her with understanding, and in doing so, he broke a destructive family cycle. And that's really the crucial point here. We all inherit values from our families, the good and the bad. The power of creating a family vision is that it gives you the chance to consciously choose which ones you're going to carry forward. And that brings us to our final and most actionable idea. This is a really simple but profound journaling exercise. On one side of a page, you just list the values, both the good and the bad, that you inherited from your past. Then, on the other side, you list the values that you actively choose to build your family's future on. This is it. This is the moment you move from default to design. You are literally writing your family's new blueprint. And in the end, that's what it all comes down to. When you consciously design your family's vision and its values, you're not just planning for the next few years. You're actually building a legacy. This whole exercise is really about finding the answer to this one question. What will that answer be for you?